Hello guys and welcome to odds on CONMEBOL Qualifiers for the World Cup 16th match day. We have Peru and Ecuador very close to the World Cup, Chile and Colombia in travel. So let's analyze this new round of fixtures with Leo Bachanian and of course with you. I want to know your opinion. Leave a comment below with your tips and predictions and don't forget to press the like and subscribe to our channel. And now let's go on with the show. 16th match day in the CONMEBOL, and now, Leo, we can say that Colombia and Chile are really in trouble. How are you?
How are you, Edu? Yes, absolutely. What a madness these South American CONMEBOL qualifiers they are becoming. Amazing, amazing stuff.
Let's start then with Chile. They are playing in the altitude of La Paz. It's always very tricky to play there. Bolivia, they lost, as you predicted, Leo, heavily against Venezuela. They are always very weak when they are playing away, but at home, last 5 games, 4 victories. So Chile need to react. There is still some hope for La Roja, but of course, if there is hope, they have to win this game.
Absolutely, yes. And first of all, absolutely disappointing results, although something that you would have expected, not for Bolivia and Chile against Venezuela and Argentina in round 15. They both now know that the draw here and the dream is over. Chile has done the job in the altitude of La Paz previously, of course with different players, but when you go to the more recent head-to-head at the Eduardo Siles Stadium, you will see that before Germany 2006, South Africa 2010 and Brazil 2014, Chile won those 3 encounters and all of them with the same scoreline, 0-2. On the road to Russia 2018, Bolivia managed to win the 3 points with a narrow 1-0 victory. I think we could all anticipate the plot for Tuesday. Bolivia will dominate possession, will try to overload the flanks to finally put the ball in the box to find Marcelo Moreno Martins. In these South American qualifiers, Bolivia puts an average of almost 18 crosses into the opposition box, the most by any team. The second one on that stat is Ecuador, another team who plays in the altitude. So there is a clear pattern there. These teams look to suffocate visitors not only by playing at the altitude of 3,600 meters, but mostly by continuously putting the ball into the box. Also, there is no surprise that Bolivia tends to finish the games at home physically more stronger than the rivals. Bolivia so far playing at home has scored 38% of their goals late in the game, between the 75th and the 90th minute of the match. So to put the Bolivian dream in numbers, they are now 4 points behind the 5th, Uruguay, and 5 points behind the 4th, Peru. So if they win their 2 games, Chile and Brazil, they will count 21 points. And they will need that Peru takes 0 points from the next 12 and Uruguay only 1, so almost impossible. And for Chile, the hopes of reaching Qatar are also hanging on the edge. They need an absolute miracle, to be honest, starting tomorrow. But the problem is not just the altitude of La Paz. They still need to visit Brazil and play at home against Uruguay. So against Argentina, only Alexis and Ben Brereton Diaz passed the test, to be honest. To miss Arturo Vidal was too much for La Roja in such a crucial moment. And they now have lost Claudio Bravo and Eduardo Vargas to injury, plus Aranguis and Pulgar, another 2 important men for Lasarte, were clearly weren't 100% fit. So Edu, Bolivia at 2.60 for a win is very good. Both teams to score is at 1.94, but goals over 2.5 market comes out slightly better at 2.30. And Bolivia has scored first in their 7 home games this campaign. To repeat that against Chile is at 2.2.
Bolivia, they are slight favorites against Chile. Chile, remember that they also play in the altitude of Calama against Argentina. So you place also Bolivia slightly favorites here, Leo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Difficult task for Chile to go to Qatar. Then we have Uruguay, Venezuela. The sky is clear in Montevideo after the victory, crucial one against Paraguay with Luis Suarez scoring the important goal in the first post-game after Tavares era, and I guess everyone in Uruguay, Leo, counts on this victory to go to Qatar. Then they have also Peru at home and Chile away. These 3 points, I think everyone count them in Montevideo.
Yeah, and they were massive also, the 3 points they took in Asunción. No? It was the first match for Diego Alonso. Was the first victory for Uruguay in the last 5 rounds of fixtures. They started the match out of a playoff spot, and they are now 2 points ahead of Colombia and 3 ahead of Chile, with the Cafeteros traveling to Argentina and Chile in La Paz, as we just commented. Of course, you cannot count your points before you have them, but the Charrúas know that winning against revitalized Vinotinto will boost their chances massively, because the first of the 2 fixtures, as you said, in March is at home with Peru. So a win tomorrow and the match with Peru becomes a game not for a playoff spot, but to reach the group stage directly. So, and then if you didn't see the match with Paraguay, you may think that or you may be entitled to believe that it was a tight game, but the reality, Edu, is that Alonso's era began in ideal fashion, with his team dominating from the beginning. They should actually have won it more comfortably. Sometimes the post, sometimes Anthony Silva denied the Celeste, but overall was a good performance. I really liked what I saw from Uruguay. And despite the new blood of Facundo Pelistri, Fede Valverde, Matias Oliveira or Darwin Núñez, in the end was the old guard who made the job done. Diego Godin with the assist and Luis Suarez with the celebration. Anyway, Suarez winner against Paraguay marks only the second goal Uruguay have scored in the last 6 qualifying games. The last 3 times they played Venezuela in Montevideo, 2 ended with a draw, but on the road to Russia, Uruguay took the 3 points with a 3-0, in which Edison Cavani scored a brace. And on the other hand, the Vinotinto lost their 7 away games in these CONMEBOL qualifiers, and to find the Vinotinto win in Montevideo, we have to travel to 2004 on the road to Germany, when they defeated La Celeste 0-3. This time around, they will land in Uruguay with high spirits after their Bolivian demolition, which was the first game in charge for Jose Pekerman. Salomon Rondon was a completely different beast in the Venezuela shirt than the one we have seen with Everton this season. He scored a hat-trick. The Pekerman effect has been so good with players, fans, and the press that I am sure if they could, they will ask the CONMEBOL if they could take to the qualifiers for the next World Cup all or some of the points they may collect in the last few matches of this campaign. And is Uruguay the favorite for me, Edu? Yes. Is the 1.35 for a Celeste win and 13 for Venezuela massively low and high, respectively? Definitely yes as well. So I believe we're going to have to meet somehow in the middle. The halftime, full-time market with Uruguay ticking both boxes has odds of 2. For a team like Uruguay that has scored only 2 times in the last 6 games, an Asian handicap of +1 for Venezuela with odds of 2.7 does not sound bad neither. For anyone more optimistic, a double chance for Venezuela has also 3.51. And to be honest, Edu, with the results we are seeing and taking into account how difficult sometimes it is to predict South American qualifiers, double chances are becoming a very good option. Sometimes I believe. So those are my taking for this game, Edu.
Oh yeah, we are seeing so many surprises in these qualifiers, but I guess we all think Uruguay is going to defeat Venezuela. And talking about surprises, the huge one in the previous round of fixtures was Colombia losing at home against Peru, and now Colombia, they are in a big mess. 6 games without scoring a single goal, therefore without victories, and they are traveling to Argentina, a national team that looks unbeatable right now. And if we take a look at the standings, Leo, we see Colombia 6th with 17 points. If we expect Uruguay to beat Venezuela and Colombia is not going to take the 3 points from Argentina, I think they can say almost goodbye to the World Cup if they lose this game.
Absolutely. 556 minutes without scoring for the cafeteros. To make matters worse, the relationship with the fans broke down on Friday in Barranquilla, where there were insults and even objects thrown onto the field towards the manager Reinaldo Rueda. If that is not enough for a crisis, then you have the image of James Rodriguez confronting the fans who were not very happy with him, to say the least. Also having a player like Luis Diaz signing transfer papers from Porto to Liverpool while preparing for a crucial match adds on a little bit more noise to these Colombians' troubles. That is the reason, I believe, why in the midst of this storm, yesterday Rueda decided to send his two captains, Radamel Falcao Garcia and David Ospina, to the press conference with the idea of sending a message of calm to the country. In a calm tone, they try to send this message that the qualification is still possible and that they will fight until the end. But all this said, it's hard to explain at the same time how they lost with Peru. They were the better team all along. They shot 24 times, whereas Peru did it only 4 and scored the only time they found the target. Ospina, who has been the best Colombian player in the campaign, had a very poor response to Peru's goal. Colombia with 17 points is now 2 behind Uruguay, 3 behind Peru. And with that number of points, Edu, the Cafeteros should break a historic streak. No team that has completed 15 qualifying rounds with 17 points has ever qualified for a World Cup. And after Argentina, Colombia, yes, will play Bolivia at home and Venezuela away. Therefore, the importance of taking the 3 points in Cordoba. The last time Colombia won away in Argentina was with the famous or infamous, depending in which side you're standing, 5-0 in 1993. Anyway, now 1-0 will be celebrated in a similar fashion. Also, Argentina is now 28 games unbeaten when they reach 31 games with Alfio Basile, the historic record. The team that defeated the Albiceleste and broke that record was also Colombia, although that happened in Barranquilla. For Argentina, the winning Calama was a show of personality. I believe it wasn't a great game, but especially the second half, but they were always in control. But now they will be without Paredes, De Paul, and Otamendi because of suspension. Still, I will go for Argentina to win with odds of 2.02. If you expect goals in both halves, like me, then the odds are 2.1. We can expect Colombia to push. They have no choice. So here a different market seems quite attractive, like Colombia taking 4+ corners, which has odds of 2.25.
Argentina to win sounds very good, actually, with odds around 2, as you mentioned. Yep. Since they are in a great run, Colombia are unable to score. We can also check Argentina to win 2-0. Odds are 2.88 if someone fancies the Albiceleste winning. And of course, Colombia, they don't score a single goal, so we can expect also to be dry in Cordoba. Then we have Brazil, Paraguay. Here, of course, what can we say? No, I think no one can expect any other stuff than Brazil taking the 3 points. What did we see in Ecuador, Leo? Was a football game, a karate tournament.
Oh my goodness!
Was for sure a very violent game. Yeah. Classic fashion CONMEBOL qualifiers against Ecuador and Brazil. Militao will miss this one. He's already in Spain. Emerson was sent off. And Brazil, they are so reliable when they are playing in Brazilian soil. And Paraguay, they are so bad, even with Barros Esqueloto on the bench, that we never see Brazil winning big with Asian handicap. This can be risky, but Brazil to win 2-0 sounds like a fair thing or almost a sure bet here.
Yeah, of course, they're like absolutely the favorites for this one. I could even look at an Asian handicap of -2 for Brazil, even though as we've been talking through all these qualifiers, they are not a goal-scoring machine under Tite. When it comes to the game against Ecuador, it's true that it was such a violence sometime that it reminded me of a Copa Libertadores match of the 60s, you will tell, more than a national team qualifier game. But it's true that the Colombian referee Wilmar Roldan, now being called Wilbar Roldan, had a nightmare of a match with 4 wrong decisions that needed to be corrected by the VAR, including 2 red cards shown for Alisson, which later on had to be withdrawn. But what about the Brazilian team? Have they played a good game? Have they shown something new? Well, not really. The game for Brazil had only statistical value. Numbers still wonderful, but ideas and performance not so much. The Verde Amarela suffered with set pieces. The equalizer came actually that way. In 69 games under Tite, they only conceded 25 times, but 9 of those goals conceded were after a set piece, and I'm not counting here any penalty. So even when you look at the last World Cup under Tite, Switzerland and Belgium scored after a set piece against Brazil. So even though Paraguay, yes, is not scoring in the last 6 matches, they are always a threat in the air. And when it comes to the Albiroja, actually, well, yes, their display was against La Celeste was actually dreadful. For the 3rd time in a row, they won't be playing at the World Cup. They have 13 points, 6 behind the playoff spot. As I said, 6 games without scoring. The last one to celebrate for Paraguay was Romero Gamarra against Venezuela in September. And 1 more match without a goal, and their worst record in a qualification campaign will be rubricated. And I don't expect them actually to score in Brazil. So again, as I said, clear favoritism for Brazil. Brazil to score in both halves comes with odds of 2.25, but Brazil to win both halves has odds of 3. And as I said as well before, Asian handicap -2 for Brazil, odds of 2.88.
Find good odds for Brazil to win both halves is your tip. Brazil to win 2-0. As I mentioned before, pays very little, 1.77, and the Asian handicap that you also mentioned before, we have the line in Asian handicap -1.5 for Brazil. Odds are 2 for that, so they have to win for 2 goal difference for you to win the bet. Brazil, clear favorite against Paraguay. Paraguay, one of the bad news, of course, in these CONMEBOL qualifiers. And now let's talk about positive teams, of course. We have Peru, Ecuador. I remember, Leo, when we were analyzing the Copa Americas, saying how Peru was performing really well in the last 2 Copa Americas, but we never thought that at this stage of the CONMEBOL qualifiers they will be so close from Qatar. What a job is doing Gareca in charge. As we mentioned before, they beat Colombia 0-1, so now 3 consecutive victories for them. They won in Quito a crucial game in the reverse fixture. Yeah. And now, if they take the 3 points, they will be so close from Doha, especially because Ecuador, they suffer a little bit when they are playing away. Only 2 victories in these qualifiers, but also hats off for Ecuador, very close as well from Qatar.
Yes, absolutely, Edu. And, you know, I can imagine that some Peruvians are still hangover after their win in Barranquilla. Same could be said of the Ecuadorians after the draw. Not since 1978 and 1982 have Peru managed to book their place at successive World Cup finals. So if they do it again under Ricardo Gareca, believe me, Edu, I can imagine millions of people now are going to donate their home keys to melt them down and have a statue built in his honor. After losing with Bolivia and Argentina, it seemed that all the hopes for a qualification had vanished for Peru. But however, 3 straight wins, Bolivia at home, Venezuela away, and Colombia away, have left Peru knowing that their destiny is in their hands. Indeed, Peru have won each of their last 3 World Cup qualifying games on home turf without conceding a single goal, which is good coming into this fixture against Ecuador, and they are unbeaten in 6 on their own territory if you add friendly matches to this equation. And when it comes to hosting Ecuador, Peru won the last 2 encounters in 2013 and 2016, and they got the 3 points, as you mentioned, also in the reverse fixture last June. Tomorrow, Gareca won't be able to use his number 10, Christian Cueva, because of suspension. Cueva assisted Flores for the 85 minutes winning goal in Barranquilla. And with Gallese, the goalkeeper, they are the backbone of this team, really. And Ecuador made it 4 games unbeaten. and they are in third place with 24 points. All the teams that have arrived to the 16th round of fixture with 24 points, they all have qualified to the World Cup, so no one could tell the three fanatics that they are going to change it if they start looking for hotel arrangements in Qatar. Gustavo Alfaro's men know that a victory at the Estadio Nacional will make it impossible for Ecuador to finish lower than fifth and at least advance to the playoff stage, although, as well you said, only 2 of the 7 wins have come away from home. But one of those 2 wins away from home was in Santiago, in a crucial match as well for Ecuador. This one, Edu, is a tight one. Yep. It's a tight one. I was thinking a lot for this Peru-Ecuador. I think that Ecuador is in a position to defeat Peru in Lima and secure qualification, and that comes with the odds of 3.47. But I will prefer to be a little bit more conservative, to be honest, in this particular match. I expect a very tense game with a draw as a result at halftime, very likely. That has odds of 2, a draw at halftime. Let's not forget that also a draw after 90 minutes won't be seen as bad result for neither for the 3, because of the 4 points gap they have in their favor against Peru. A draw after 90 minutes has odds of 3.32. But again, I'm following a more conservative approach that I mentioned before. So an Asian handicap of 0 for the 3 has odds of 2.42. In here, you know that the win for Ecuador will win your bet, and a draw will at least see your stake refunded. In this match, a double chance does not look very attractive. Ecuador, for instance, is in 1.67.
Very, very close to make history and be in Qatar, Leo. Only 2 games left after this match day. This is running to an end, and perhaps we can also make an ACCA and try to be lucky in this last match day.
Okay, let's go for it. Bolivia against Chile, both teams to score.
Yep.
Uruguay, Venezuela, halftime, full-time market, in both cases Uruguay. Argentina against Colombia, Colombia taking 4+ corners. Let's not forget they're gonna push a lot. Brazil against Paraguay, Brazil to score in both halves. And Peru against Ecuador, halftime result, a draw. All this leaves me with amazing and lovely ACCA of 33.79. 33.79.
Always Leo looking for very high odds in his ACCA. Very, very difficult. Always the South American games, as we saw, as well in the last match day with Peru winning in Barranquilla. Leo, it's always a pleasure talking with you about South American football, and see you very soon.
The pleasure is mine, and we will see you in March, Edu.
Very difficult always to predict these CONMEBOL qualifiers, but Leo gave us some tips and many information. Let me know, what do you think about the games, your tips in the comment section, and of course don't forget to press the like, subscribe and click on the bell to get notifications, or if you prefer, remember also we have a podcast for you. Thanks for watching and see you soon.